What's good, Wager World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. How are you today, Spread Astaire?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. A little disappointed. We'll get to more in the shows, but a couple of the plays that we really like did not get there. But other than that, I'm excited for this weekend. It should be fun, and then I can't wait for all the overreactions coming into week 2.
Man, it was crazy night last night. One of the weirdest that I can remember watching in the NFL. Like you said, we'll speak about it later, but I did save grace a little bit with a Tennessee Martin plus 14. Me and the clients were able to get them in. That actually was the best football game that was on on Thursday night. Tennessee Martin and Missouri State got back together. Guess who's Missouri State's coach?
I don't know. I did not watch that one. I had tennis and football on my TV.
Bobby Petrino.
Oh, really?
Yes. How did he get back
Wow.
in there, right?
Well, because it's Missouri State, right?
And he magically has all these great transfers. He got the quarterback James Shelley from Utah over there. So old Bobby Petrino has slithered his way back into college football. But yeah, we got that plus 14 2 FCS teams matching up. They played each other actually in the playoffs last year, and it was a really entertaining game. And we were able to cover with them with the 5. So that saved the Supreme Clientele's night. But let's get to the past, present, and future. Oh, man. What's the past spread?
All right, man. So the opening night did not go how we thought. The public was right. The original bookmakers were wrong. And the Los Angeles Rams did not look good in their debut. And this will be fun. We haven't really talked about this yet. I think we're gonna be a little different. I'll be honest, I didn't downgrade the Rams that much. I just thought the Bills played excellent, and all the hype around the team is for real. Now, how will they react? How will they continue to keep it up? I'm not sure. Can Von Miller do that every single week? I don't know, but boy, this team was firing off all cylinders right off the bat, and Jalen Ramsey. Well,
Call him toast.
Yeah, boy, and we've seen cornerbacks fall off quickly. That could be a concern if you're a Rams backer or a Rams fan. But I don't want too much slander. Let's give credit to Josh Allen. I would have said before the season, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's going to make a real push, and he might be the undisputed number 1 at the end of the year if he continues to play like this. So, credit to the Buffalo Bills. Credit to most of the bettors across America because I know they took most of the money. And there, away we go. So, what did you think last night?
Spread. Do you remember in the summer when we talked about this game when the lines were first released?
Yeah.
My initial reaction, I said the Bills were going to beat the hell out the Rams and make a statement. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember I said the Bill, and I let the numbers make me not make a profit. I ended up getting on the other side with the Rams and kind of, hedged my bet because it wasn't that much anyway. I actually ended up losing some money because of the over. And I'm really pissed about that game because I didn't follow my first mind. I let the books with their numbers and watching the market make me forget about football. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on when it comes to my handicapping is knowing the game. You have to have a little bit of being able to know market analysts, but a whole lot of knowing football and matchups and what teams are going to do against each other, And I knew that McVay had been partying all summer. I knew Matt Stafford had been partying all summer. I knew that the Rams had been with all the A-list celebrities in Hollywood, Darnold on there lifting with the Rock and all of that WWE mess before the game started. I knew all of these things. I knew that they were missing Monroe City native Andrew Whitworth, got pretty much the rock of that team that a lot of people didn't know. That he was the rock of that team playing at left tackle, and that was severely exposed by Von Miller last night. I knew all of these things coming to the game. I knew how ticked Sean McDermott would be about how his team went out. I knew how ticked Josh Allen would be. And that's why when the initial line came out, it's +2, I was all over the Bills, but I didn't lay enough. That's why I made a mistake. And then now I started overthinking. And the thing when you're dealing with anything in life, and especially when you're putting your money involved, in sports betting, always, follow your first mind, man. Trust your eyes. And I knew the Buffalo was going to beat the hell out of them when I first saw that number. Too much reading the board, too much being a nerd right there. And I apologize to the people for not giving out the Bills. I knew we weren't getting to the over early in that game. The Bills would have had to score 41 to 48 by themselves for us to get there, and they almost did. The Rams suck. The offense that McVay prides himself in running, the league is caught on to. Now he doesn't have anyone to go over top. We don't know how Van Jefferson will look when he returns, but they're going to need him to stretch the defense and hope that he can make the plays that OBJ was making that helped him get over the hump in the playoffs and in the first half of the Super Bowl. They're onto his offense. It's feed Cooper Kupp screens and 8-yard digs over and over. Stafford, we forget that Matt Stafford was went to the GOAT, but he was one play, from also being the garbage. Do you remember he threw a punt interception to the safety for the 49ers?
Tart. Jaquiski Tart or something.
If Tart catches that ball, we're looking at Matt Stafford just like he looked last night, because that's how he looks in most big games, and we know that. He's a stat patter. He's always been. He's throwing no looks to Cooper Kupp down and freaking looking stupid, selling the ball and gets picked. Like this Rams team, I'm over it. I know you're saying it's an overreaction.
Yeah, I think so too. No team is ever as bad as they look when they lose and as good as they look when they win.
And that's true in the NFL, man. But I just think they're a little feeling. I think
first of all, Odell might be back.
They had too good in the offseason. He was laughing at him. And he going to Buffalo to go play with Vaughn and win one. They're going to try to do the NBA stuff where they're going around like Dion used to do and go make a team a championship and, play for themselves. They're playing for their own ring and what they can bring to their team that year. I don't think he goes back to the Rams. I think he feels like they should have signed him.
I'd much rather live in Los Angeles than Buffalo.
It's just during the season. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So here, I'll tell you what, certain things that I missed on Allen Robinson's effectiveness right off the bat. I thought it was going to be great. He didn't look very good at all. Jalen
Who the hell are the beat writers? You remember when you brought up that about you made a great point on Wednesday's show about not believing what these reporters say. Yeah. But the LA beat writers aren't saying jack because we haven't heard anything from LA.
To be fair, they don't have the rabid fan base there that's going to push the news.
Exactly.
LA, if you go to LA and you go to like the bars on Sunday to watch the games, it's like being in Vegas. Everyone's got their own favorite team. It's not like you come up here and it'd be like all 49ers fans and maybe one fan of the other team, right? Or I'm sure,
back in Houston.
Yeah, right. Everyone's on the Texans. Everyone's on the Packers, right? The whole town, the Steelers.
New Orleans.
It's not like that in Los Angeles.
So, if you're from somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think there's that same pressure for reporting. But I got to go back to Jalen Ramsey because you're better at watching the tape than me. What did you see? Is Stephon Diggs that good? Is Josh Allen that good? Or should be the Rams be worried? Because as much as Allen Robinson not having a big night, that's fine. It's his first night. New quarterback, new system, blah, 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 blah. What are we doing with Jalen Ramsey? And we've seen this before where cornerbacks fall off a cliff real quickly.
Jalen Ramsey's always been a little overrated. He's been been marketed wonderfully by his agent, who happens to also be Deshaun Watson's agent, my guy, Austin, Athletes First, I think this is the name of his agency. He's done a great job being able to get him the money, get him to be able to boast as the top corner. He's never been a top corner, in my opinion. I've never thought that he was fluid enough. I always thought he was upright. It was more he was good at the line and jamming receivers, and also great with helping out on the run game. But he's always been a little bit overhyped. He's a good player, but he's never been, to me, like the top corner like he thinks he is and like some people do. I think that was more of a reputation. And now it makes sense to us why Cincinnati's head coach was going at him in the Super Bowl, especially since he was at the Rams practices with them. He probably was seeing the things that were going on and how the different ways that you can get Rams, and how the defensive coordinator for the Rams is silly enough to still believe that he can just go one-on-one on the island on his side, because people are going to test him all season. I don't think this is going to be the first time. He'll win some matchups, but he's going to lose a lot of them as well. But I do think he's always been overrated.
And did Cam Akers hit on Sean McVay's wife? What's going on there?
That's what I was.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It's that's why I say these reporters in LA are doing a terrible job. I know they're covering the Trojans. I know they're covering LeBron and the drama with the Lakers. I know they're covering surfing or whatever. But dude, how you guys don't have out to the public? We as bettors, we make our money off of information. How can you not have out to the public that Cam Akers isn't going to start this game, that Darrell Henderson's the new RB1 for the Rams with a healthy Cam Akers? How do you not know Cam Akers is in the doghouse? You guys aren't in the locker room? Like, what's going on? I mean, the media has full access to every NFL team on purpose in order so that the information can get out not only to the public, but also to the betting community.
And people don't know this, but that's the reason the injury reports came out. Las Vegas pushed this 30 years ago. Yeah. Injury reports have been coming out on Wednesday for pretty much our whole lives, right?
Yes.
Who's the one who pushed that? Las Vegas and the sports books, because they said we can't put these lines up unless we know stuff, right? And now, of course, you know, they have the openers, but
Vegas governs sports. That's what it does. It governs sports. If they see someone out there that's overdoing it, where like they're showing that they're cheating, they're going to report them to that league. Because
that's why when people talk about sports betting and comparing it to the stock market, I say the stock market's way more crooked. Yeah. There's 100 times more deals. People go, "Oh, you should do stocks instead." That's a way more crooked industry. Yeah. This gets self-correcting. Yeah. Everything that happens is on TV. Yeah, I mean, fixed games have happened in the past. Yeah, but it's a lot. There's a lot more shady stuff going on Wall Street than there is on these football fields.
But even on the games that we've seen is shady, and yesterday it was really shady to me on those over and under. They looked like the clock was like running at light speed, and that the teams were playing. I'll never.
I just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, McVay, come on! It's 2 minutes left. He's in position to score, and they just start running the ball in the middle and just walking and looking around.
I think he just wanted to get out of there. I think the whole thing, they want to just get off. It's almost like they got 10 days to get ready for next week.
There'll be a great bet next week.
You took an L.
There'll be a wonderful bet against Atlanta next week. They'll be the best bet on the board.
Everyone's going to love them, though. So it's going to be the same situation where we talk about the market again. Because whatever they open at, it's going to get steamed 2 points.
Yeah,
because people are going to bet them reflexively without even running numbers.
It's going to be a double-digit spread for sure. But man, we getting back to the reporting in LA. You guys got to do better out there. Where's Platsky and all those guys I used to see on ESPN, man? Like, why
on ESPN? They're not in the locker rooms anymore.
What are you guys doing, man? Like, this is. I'm not trying to sound like a crybaby. I know things happen, but man, believe me, it's so many people in the fantasy world and also, especially in the betting world, that if we had any idea that Cam Akers was in the doghouse with Sean McVay and that he would not be playing the first couple series, he would not have been in people's starting DFS lineups. He wouldn't have been in people's lineups for their fantasy for the year. And a lot of people would have looked at this game a lot differently on the over and under and on the side. And I'm going to just leave that at that. Do better, LA. Come on, you guys. Come on, man. You got a football team, man. It's not a freaking wrestling team.
Let's get into this weekend. It's one game out of, I don't know off the top of my head, 17 times 16, whatever that comes out to. But a bunch of opportunities this year for us to go ahead and take advantage of that. And that starts this weekend. Of course, you have some college plays for us, but everybody's talking about the NFL. College is a little bit overshadowed this weekend, and then, kind of goes back to normal after this week, especially with 16 teams ending their week in disappointment and their fan bases, right? Because I know all the Rams fans, it's over, right? And there's going to be 15 other teams that do that because every fan base, right? I'm not talking about bettors. Every fan base is expecting to win week one. I don't care that the Texans are 7-point dogs. The fans
Yeah.
in Houston expect them to win, and they've
Oh,
drawn
they're
up a
betting
game
it by
plan
the
in their
boatload.
head
Mm-hmm.
how they're going to win, right? So all
Yeah.
the disappointment comes in, and then the attention gets a little more balanced. But right now, it's a time of hope for 31 NFL teams. The Rams are already in deep despair, but 31 NFL teams think this is their year. They're going to the Super Bowl, and we get to take advantage of that. And I, for one, am excited about it to get back to our winning ways.
Yeah, man, it's a couple games on the NFL slate that I've been looking at. Got some leans, nothing locked in yet, but just a little information for the people. I like the Bears, man. I like the Bears +7 against your crosstown 49 Raiders fan. You pretty much need to move to Vegas. Soldier Field is still Soldier Field, and it's one of the best home field advantages in football. Justin Fields, I apologize. I'm still in the little days from last night. But
I'm more shocked by Caroline Garcia, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. Okay. So we both. Hey, when you used to win it, man, it's kind of like,
know.
dude. It's like going like catching a Rico case and you were a billionaire.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like what happened. But anyway, man. Yeah, I think that Justin Fields is a good enough playmaker to keep that game within 7 points. I think that's a lot of points to give up. You got to be pretty much basing that on hoping that the Bears turn the ball over. I think Eberflus isn't that bad of a coach. From what I've seen in preseason, they look pretty organized. I know they lost some people on defense, but the Bears are defense. That's what they're known for. I'm sure that they have some people to plug and play. They still have Eddie Jackson on the back end. So I think the Bears can keep that within 7. I wouldn't be surprised they might even pull a upset because you still have a young quarterback going on the road. We saw that Lance struggles a little bit in the passing game, so they're going to have to rely on running the ball, and I don't know how much they're going to be able to just run the ball downhill and all game on the Bears like that. The Bears are a tough organization. Over the years, they've shown that. So I'll be looking at that +7. Any other the games interest you? I know one of them you're going to give later.
Yeah, let's just talk a couple. Let's talk a couple. I got to talk to you about your team. There's a couple that I flipped on where I went from the favorite to the dog. The Bears are one of them. You brought up most of the reasons. There's 2 that I wanted to point out as well. Well, you mentioned Trey Lance, right? First time, new system. Maybe the expectations are a little high. And George Kittle now might not play. That's huge for that team's running game. I know. I think they could absorb the loss from him as a pass catcher, but he's arguably okay. First of all, he's the best blocking tight end in the league in my mind. That's not just a specific run blocker that only plays in 2 tight end sets, and the way that he helps that run game is so impressive. They miss him. Also, the weather's coming in bad there, so that total's been steamed down about 3 points, and it's coming in off weather. But think about it, from going to like a 43 to a 40, that makes that +7 even more valuable. So I like the Niners, like when we were first looking at these lines a couple months ago, and I've kind of flipped. Another one was your Saints heading to Atlanta. And originally, I like them just because I'm looking at this Falcons roster, and it's not that impressive. I really like the Saints roster. I mean, Jameis has all the tools set up for him there, right? And we've talked about how we're high on him this year. Still, these are teams that have consistently played each other close, no matter the roster, no matter the records, right? The Falcons could have been, 2-11, and they'll give the Saints a game. And they're at home catching all these points in a division game, and it's just something that I've done instinctively. So now I'm looking at the Falcon side. I'm probably not going to bet it, but I'll tell you what. I thought the Saints were a good bet. Now I think, if you're doing a pool where you pick every single game, that maybe the Falcons are the right side. What do you think of the Saints? Because I know you follow them closer than I do.
This morning, one of my good friends that's also a diehard Saints fan like myself, he's from New Orleans. Met for a second, had a couple words, talking a little bit about the games tonight. And he said, what do you think about the Saints? And I told him, don't bet it. I told him, don't bet it, and I hope that I'm wrong. I'll just be watching the game as a fan. I don't get involved in a lot of Saints games because it just during the Sean Payton era, it never went right for me. But I would, if I was making a bet on this game, I'd have to take the Falcons just simply because I'm really higher on Arthur Smith than a lot of people. I think that he's going to be able to bring some real trickery that's going to give the Saints some problems. I don't think the Saints lose the game, but I think it's going to be a lot tighter than people think. Um, Marcus Mariota is a underrated quarterback. He can throw the ball, and as you know, he's very athletic. They're going to be running a lot of plays for him. They have Cordell Patterson in the backfield, who's a receiver slash running back. You got Kyle Pitts, who's a tight end slash receivers. They got Drake London for the first time coming out there. It's the first time we're going to see him outside of practice, so the Saints have no film on him. It's a lot of athletic big guys for Atlanta and a real creative head coach. So I think that their offense is going to be something different that the Saints have seen. They can't really anticipate or plan for it because from what we've seen in the offseason, in the preseason, it seems like they're going to be running a little mix of spread with also a lot of quarterback read and a lot of misdirection as well from the Falcons. So it's going to be a very difficult package to try to contain. So I think the Saints win, but I don't know if they cover, man. I'm with you on that. I flipped on that when it was 3, it was beautiful for the Saints, but at 5.5, I like the Falcons actually.
And I haven't flipped on this one. I've kind of liked it the whole time. Pittsburgh, another divisional game, getting 6.5 in Cincinnati. I would argue that whoever plays is an upgrade of the version of Roethlisberger we saw last year. This is one of the best coached teams in the NFL under Mike Tomlin. They always come ready to play. And it's another thing. It's just a division game. Like, why can't the Steelers keep it close even if they lose? They're getting 6.5. What do you think of the Steelers and the Bengals?
This one I'm a little torn on. I definitely won't be betting this game here. The only reason that I'm torn on it is because of the last matchups between the teams that we saw. And we saw Cincinnati cover the last 3 times they played the Steelers. They've won all 3 games by double digits. And it really got out of hand in the last one. I know the Steelers were having some injury issues and all that. And as you said, Tomlin is a great coach. Trubisky kind of is shaky, man. You don't know which Trubisky you're going to get. If he's hot and he's able to hit 60% of his passes, he's a problem because he's athletic and he can tuck and run. But he goes through these periods where he can't throw a dime in the ocean. You know what I mean? Like he's like guys are open, he's still missing them, in the ground or selling them. He was doing that in the last preseason game, and that's what troubled me because he came out that was supposed to be like a audition for the beginning of the year, and also he was kind of trying to hold off Kenny Pickett. Pickett looked better than me in my opinion. So I think this is a situation where Tomlin's playing a long game. He's going to throw Trubisky out there and see what he can do. I think they're more about next year, honestly.
Well, or it's a lot easier to put a rookie in after 4 weeks than it is to go to the veteran.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You start Pickett and it's not working, you're kind of screwed. Now you get another 4 weeks to work with them. And if Trubisky starts 1-3, it's fairly easy to just go
with the Steelers. Dominant defense, young quarterback coming in. He's wet behind the ears. They throw him in the middle of the year. Gets a little, experience. By the next year, they're ready to really play Steelers football and make a move. And I think that's what position I think Tom's in. He's such a chess master. I'm sure that he's thinking about. And he's wise enough to understand that every year is not a Super Bowl year. Certain things have to fall correctly for that. They're still very young in the backfield. They're super young at the receivers. Their best receivers are all 2-year guys, rookies, so they're very young, man. And they get that right quarterback, who I think they have with Kenny Pickett. I like him. I wasn't as high on him coming out, but I should have known. He's looked great. And I should have known because of the Pittsburgh system. Their quarterbacks always stick around in the NFL. The ones that came under Narduzzi, it's because he has them do so much work at the line with protection and the running game, and they know how to drop back from under center. A lot of these, quarterbacks that come in the league, as simple as it sounds, they really can't drop back. They have to be in the shotgun. Like Kyler Murray has to be in the shotgun. If he gets drop back, try to do drop back offense, it just throws his timing off. He can't, get to where he wants to be quick enough with his eyes. So, I think Kenny Pickett will be the guy in a little while. But on this game, man, honestly, man, I honestly kind of like the Bengals to cover, man. If Burrow's in his second year out this injury, we're about to see the old Joey Burrow, and he's a real cutthroat killer. He does he's not out there trying to go and have 3 and outs. He's trying to score. And I don't know. They might get it. This game might get away from the Steelers. So
And that's why I was excited for this segment, right? So you could talk me off a lot of these leans
Yeah.
that I like, and maybe move them to no plays and wait till we find huge edge. Here's another one. I think you're going to talk me off. I want to take the Baker Mayfield revenge tour. I want to take Carolina to beat the Browns. What do you think of that one?
I'm with you on that one. That might be one of the plays I actually consider. And the only reason I'm considering this play is because I really like the Panthers coach. He usually has the team ready in the first week. He's a very good coach, very organized. It's just sometimes talent gets in the way. Cleveland will have the more talented team, but what's going to hurt Cleveland is if they can't just completely dominate the line and run with Nick Chubb. It comes down to Jacoby Brissett. He's another one. He didn't look too impressive to me in the preseason. He's a pedestrian quarterback, but he's decent, but he's not enough to say I'm gonna take him on the road. And actually, Carolina have an advantage at quarterback because Baker Mayfield, healthy, he can spin it, and he has some guys to throw it to over there. So I've seen a lot of movement in the line come down, but to me that makes me want Carolina more. Carolina was like -3 earlier in the week. Now it's down to almost a pick 'em. But I still like Carolina.
Yeah, I like Carolina there. Okay, and the fans of the wagering world will be upset if I don't get your opinion on Sunday night because everyone's either going to be spending their winnings or trying to catch up. Tampa Bay heads to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. This is a tough game for me, man. I might just be watching this one as a fan. I think I can give you a good argument for either team here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which way to go, and usually on those times, I either just lay off completely, maybe have a good evening, right? Or try to do it in game. But what are your thoughts on the Buccaneers or the Cowboys?
In game bet. The only thing that I would think of on that game would be the over 50. But after that stuff we saw last night with the Rams and Bills and these prime time matchups, you don't want to be dealing with these totals. You know what I mean? Like you don't. You're much better on the side.
What are you looking for in game? What are we looking for? How they handle the pass rush on the Tampa side?
Somebody to get up early. It doesn't matter which side because both sides are offensive and both have quarterbacks who can bring their team back to being within range to win the game. So, and both offenses are elite, So, looking for. I think the first half. I like the first half in this game. Cowboys. That's the only bet that I would lean to. I think the Cowboys' offense is solid and it's a little bit more put together right now and humming a little bit better than the Bucs will be. We've heard a lot of noise out of the Buccaneers camp. Don't get me wrong, Tom Brady's still Tom Brady, but it's some personal stuff he has going on. We'll see if it relates to the transfers to the field in this big contest. We'll see if his wife is at the game. She will usually be at a game like this one, right? So we'll see if she's at the game or not. And I just think the Cowboys first half, they'll be more prepared. As you know, Todd Bowles, nice guy. I'm just not a big fan of his as far as in being the head coach. We'll see. I know Byron Leftwich will be running the offense, but also this is a thing I forgot to consider. This is Dak's first game without Amari Cooper in years, right?
First game, well, not first game, but also they're missing that left tackle. I think that's so big.
Tyron.
Yeah.
Is he going to retire?
Well, he's out for the year. I don't think he'll retire because they're going to keep paying him, right?
I forgot. With Todd Bowles, the Bucs do got D. That under might be the play on that game.
I kind of like the under too. I almost think that you might do the same thing now. Hope that a team comes out with a scripted drive, gets up 7-0, pumps that thing up to like 53 or 54, and then you just pop it like after the scripted drives are
anything around double digits would be cool because I think it will be a tight game when it gets to the fourth quarter. We know how Tom Brady is with his heroics and everything, but like I said, last night has everyone a little shook in the betting community. Texas and Alabama, we can't forget about that.
20-point favorites. Are they going to cover?
-20 and a half. Now it's a lot of money. Alabama. I didn't watch Texas last week, so I don't know how Quinn Ewers looks. I'll probably watch a little bit of the highlights.
I mean, does it matter? Didn't they just smash like Northern Texas, or it was
No,
a small school.
that's my hometown, Monroe, Louisiana, University
Right.
of Louisiana, Monroe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
I mean,
film. So I didn't look over the film yet. I need to watch it though and see what's going
college
on.
football almost reminds me of boxing, where they give these guys warm-up fights.
Yeah, kind of.
They put them against someone that they're completely overmatched against.
Yeah,
and then if they struggle, then we know, hey, you should
but
have knocked this
the
guy
thing
out.
I'll be looking about more is like, how's the offense looking? How's the defense looking? Are people swarming to the ball, or is the quarterback, making the right reads? Is he getting them in the right plays? Things like that. How, what type of offense they're even running to see if they can stay within the number. Because of course, me and everybody else in the world think Alabama's going to have the better side on that. It's going to be the Tide. It's not going to be Sarkisian on that one. Oh, U.S. Open, man. We got the match of the year coming up. We got TFO against Alcaraz. That is two entertaining guys going at it.
You're going to be mad at me.
You're going to take Alcaraz. Everyone's taking Alcaraz. You took Alcaraz and everybody else in the tennis world.
Because I thought this line should have been higher. So I feel like we got a nice little deal there. I thought it was going to come out -4, -4.5.
TFO shocks the world.
Hey, I'm not against it. If I lose that one, I won't be that mad at all, because I think it's a better story.
Everyone is forgetting this guy just played the longest tennis match. They're saying he's young and all that stuff, but fatigue makes a coward of all of us. This match gets in the fourth set. I seen some dropping his levels against Center when he was pushing him. Tennis is a funny sport like that. Just like we just saw Caroline Garcia was on fire. She couldn't do anything. She beat herself. These games can happen. Just like Sabalenka, she looked excellent first set. She had complete control of the third set. She broke Iga twice. Iga got to work on her serve. She gets broken too much, man. You can almost break. Her matches are really paydays if you have the patience and the funds to do it. You could just bet over and over break, like pretty much the whole match. Her getting broken, which is going to be like a +200 to 300 depending on the player, and then her breaking the other side, which is going to be like a +120. You can do this like over and over.
I mean, she breaks at 52%, so it should be like -110.
She has to be holding her serve at like 60%.
It's not that bad, but you know what? She runs it up in the earlier rounds. It'd be interesting. I don't know how to do it, but I bet you if you sort against top 10 or top 20, it's not the same.
Yeah, because when she's playing these major girls, Sabalenka supposedly won that match last night. She couldn't serve out.
I knew Swiatek was going to win it. I was even worried after she lost the first set, because I'm just like, when it gets tough, her level's not going to drop. Right. And that's half her strategy, is like, I'll just wait for these girls to beat themselves. The pressure is going to be too much, and the pressure don't mean nothing to me. She got that Joe Burrow about her, right? Yeah. Where she cool. She cool. Hey, I'm down a break in the third. I'm not tripping. You didn't see her change her game plan at all.
She's not being pushed right, man. She's not being pushed. The ladies that are playing her, they got to step it up, man, because she's not the number one player in the world.
She is. She's by far the best player in the world.
No, she's not.
Who's better than her?
She's just better than everybody out there.
That makes you number one.
No, but do you understand what I mean by that?
I understand. You're saying that if you compare her as a number one to past,
if Ashley Barty was in right now, Ashley Barty would probably.
I think she could do well against Barty, but we'll see how it goes. We won't see, because Barty quit.
Yeah, she wanted to go raise her. She had enough money. Oh my! She played cricket first, guys. Did she get a break?
I thought Carol was going to smash, man. If she played at the same level she showed since Cincinnati, she wins that match easy. She was setting everything up perfect, and then she would just mess it up. And then, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Naomi Osaka looks bad. I call it just spray. You're just spraying the ball. Yeah. It's going 2 feet out, and it's 2 feet wide. I mean, some of these shots were just absolutely terrible, and it was just a complete departure from everything that we've seen from her over the last month. It blew a great opportunity, because, like you said, this isn't the strongest WTA field right now.
She won't be back. She won't be back anymore. This is it for her. She had a good year. Next year, she'll fall back to who she's been the last 5-6 years. I was able to still make money because I only had $100 on the 12-1, so I was able to come back on the other side and get plus 130 and make a nice little profit on that one. But my future that I'm looking at, man, and you disagree with me on, we could talk about it briefly, is the Rams, man. I think they don't win 10 games. They got a hard schedule. They have a very hard
I don't want to
schedule.
overreact to one game. This team's going to get it right. I like Stafford. I've always liked Stafford. So
I've never liked them.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of Georgia, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he got a bad rap, and I think that him and Allen Robinson can hopefully develop some chemistry.
I've seen this story before. It happened to Russell Wilson, and it happened to Baker Mayfield. Did you see that every time you turned on the TV last night, whose face was on there on every commercial between the games?
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
That AT&T one is so annoying at this point, too. Like, it was funny the first time I saw it.
Like, they're forcing him on the camera, and he's not even really got the personality for it, but it's okay. Get your money, Matt. I'm not mad at you and your lovely wife. You guys stack up for those kids, make you some money. You know, he's a Texas boy, so, you know, I got love for him, but let's just be honest, man. He's a little bit overrated. He's
I think he'll be fine. I think they ran into a tough situation, and once things go falling apart, you know how it is in a football game,
but
because
if he has no
you
blocking,
lose your game plan.
What are they going to do with tackle?
They'll have to fix it. I mean, teams have done this before. Patriots have come out not being able to block in the first month of the season before and won Super Bowl. So, you know, I guess I do believe in Sean McVay. I think they do get this thing right, and I think that was just a really tough opponent that played really well. And they were completely keyed up for the game. So I'm not ready to.
They have a hangover this year. They
might, but still, they're going to be able to beat up on Arizona. Wait till they get to play Arizona.
They'll lose once to Arizona.
Maybe. I'm not high
They'll
on Arizona.
Lose Arizona.
They'll beat Seattle twice. They'll get some cupcakes to get right.
You know how I know they're going to lose to Arizona once? Because Caesars William Hill has their in-division win total after last night. They have it at 4 under minus 130. So it's something that these guys aren't dumb in Vegas. They aren't just making up numbers. You think they're going to put that easy 4 out there? Because think about it. The way we see it, they
might lose 2 to San Francisco, though.
Exactly.
Then you have to sweep. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. And then
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think they can turn this around.
They go to Green Bay. They go to Tampa. Their schedule's a nightmare.
They match up well with Tampa, though.
Yeah, they do. They don't need
to run the ball, so it's like, okay, now your run defense, it doesn't really matter. They don't match up well with Green Bay. That's going to be a tough game.
All right, man. We can stay on these guys. We kicked the damn extra point. You know who the candidate is today. It's only one. The little twerp that runs with his team down to the end zone like he scored a touchdown when he should be standing on the sidelines talking to his assistants on the headphones. You know it is. The one and only Sean McVay. I can't believe this guy, man. He always gets under my skin anyway with his little antics and stuff, but come on, man. You know everyone in the world is playing Cam Akers. You've been telling the whole world how great Cam Akers is the last 2 seasons, and then you decide to start Darrell Henderson. Are you serious?
You said it perfectly. What else am I going to say? I was just waiting for you to hit the catchphrase, and then we're out because you hit it on the head.
I forgot your hire on Sean McVay to me, so let me go a little deeper.
Just because I think he will turn this around doesn't mean I don't think that was. I don't even understand. I don't understand how.
And what about not trying to score points at the end of the game?
They just wanted to get out of that. They were embarrassed. They wanted to just turn the page. That was like me. I went to bed early last night.
Offense.
Yeah.
Every play is a screen to his cousin, Cooper Kupp. And then if it's not a screen to his cousin, like he sees Cooper Kupp in himself, like, this was me if I would have just been given a chance and had a coach that believed in me. You know, he was a little receiver himself. So he like, just made his whole offense around Cooper Kupp's skills. Man, you guys are going to get smacked this season. So, man, Sean McVay, kick the damn extra point, man.
All right. It's time for the ball and parlay. Ready to get back on track. You want to go ahead and give yours out first?
Man, I'm rolling with the Iowa State Cyclones. Matt Campbell's been in Ames now, and he's been very successful. The one thing he hasn't done is beat Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes. And the Cy-Hawk series has been dominated by the Hawkeyes. The game is going to be in Iowa, that beautiful stadium that gives tribute to those kids, those courageous kids at the Children's Hospital. Great thing by Iowa and that stadium, beautiful stadium. University of Iowa connected to the hospital where those kids look out the window and they wave at them. One of the better traditions in sports. But I think the Cyclones come in and get it done for the first time in Campbell's tenure this time. I really like Xavier Hutchinson, and I think that he'll be able to get into the end zone against Iowa. He's a two-time Big 12 wide receiver, all Big 12 wide receiver. Iowa State did lose Brock Purdy, who was their star quarterback the last couple seasons, but now they have in a more than capable quarterback, Hunter Deekers, and I think that Deekers has a stronger arm than Brock Purdy does. He'll be able to stretch the defense a little bit more. As you know, Iowa's going to have a strong defense. They held last week South Dakota State, who's a powerhouse in FCS, to 128 total yards offense, but they didn't score a touchdown. Iowa's really struggling on offense this year. Their quarterback, Spencer Petras, is nothing to call home about. He only threw for 109 yards, 11 out of 25. Once again, didn't score a touchdown. They end up having two safeties and a field goal, so their defense outscored them. I think that offense is going to really struggle as it steps up in class against its rival Iowa State. Take the Cyclones, man. Plus 145 money line and also plus 3.5. I think Iowa State gets it done this year.
All right. And if you have an anti-bullying campaign, you need to start with Jim Harbaugh and the Ravens, right? Because these guys, man, they're the epitome of the 6'2" guy that loves to just beat up the 5'6" guy, right? That just loves to just throw their size around and be bullies. And we've seen this from the Ravens before. They always, if you run numbers, you have to be aware of that they run their net rating up and their point differential up against these crappy teams, and you almost have to sort by level of competition because they run their numbers up, and that's why they're always going to be darlings of just blind NFL models. And I think they're going to do it again against the New York Jets, who are they starting Joe Flacco quarterback? I mean, come on, man. Like, what year is this? Like, you have to be kidding me.
It's 2006, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the Joe Flacco. We were in Baker Mayfield revenge game. I am out on Joe Flacco revenge narrative. It's too late for this guy. You might as well go to Greece and start the Statue of David back there. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable that they're trotting this guy out at quarterback. The Ravens love the bully, and they got a quarterback, right, that's got a little bit of incentive to get those extra stats, right? You were upset about the Rams not going for things. I think the Ravens are going to be going for things at the end of the game. Mr. Lamar Jackson is in the middle of contract negotiations with the Baltimore Ravens. You don't think he wants to put up 400 yards, all-purpose yards, whether it's rushing, passing, whatever? He's going to make a statement, man. It's actually the fact that Kyler got paid and Lamar didn't, and I'm not super high on Lamar to begin with, but he's 10 times better than Kyler Murray in my mind. And the fact that he got all that guaranteed money, Watson got all that guaranteed money, who Watson at his best might be a little bit better than Lamar. But the fact that Lamar, didn't get that contract for everything he's done so far, it's got to be sticking in his side. I think the Ravens absolutely pummel the Jets. Give me the Ravens -7.
Yeah, Lamar's getting screwed if you're going to go by those other two guys' contracts. All you have to do is look at the wins. And also, he's the only one that's been an MVP. A lot of people are saying this because he's representing himself. I'm proud of the young man. Stop letting these sharks and these leeches get your money. Open the book and read. That's all that they're doing. So I think that the Ravens will come to their senses by the end of the year. And we hope he doesn't have to go through the Dak Prescott situation and get injured without, having his contract in place, that he protects himself and he does what he needs to do. But he definitely deserves the money because he equates to wins. So you have it for this week. We're wrapping up the first week of NFL, man. First real week of college football, because I guess week 0 didn't count. So we got the Ravens -7 to go beat up on the New York Jets. And we got Iowa State to win for the first time in Matt Campbell's era down in Iowa City, and to defeat the Hawkeyes +150. We want you to bet them straight. You'll have 3 straight bets. That's -7 with the Ravens, Iowa State +3.5, and Iowa State +130. Also parlay the spreads, which will be -7 with the Ravens, parlayed with Iowa State +3.5. Hey, we got to knock it out the box, man. We don't lose on here. We took 2 L's in a row, but remember, they're never losses. Always lessons that we're going to use later on to capitalize with. Anything for the people, Spread, before we get out of here?
Now we're getting back on the winning track this week. Can't wait. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir. So follow my guy Spread at Spread Astaire. Follow me at 5 Star in Vegas. Spell out the 5. Best of luck to you always. Subscribe and win.